Welcome to the Piss Me Off Podcast, the podcast where I can say whatever the fuck intro I want to.
Cause it's a fucking America.
Read the fucking story. Not right now because Squarespace is down. Luckily.
And also because if you're reading it now, it'd be hard to watch the podcast. And if you're already watching the podcast, keep watching the podcast.
True, but by the time they watch this, Squarespace will probably be up. But right now it's down. But luckily I wrote it, so I have plenty of copies that we could read.
I found a typo in one of them, by the way.
There's typos in a lot of them.
I know, but just when I find one, I get excited. It's like, cool, I found it. It's like a little golden Easter egg. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's great.
I know how to read.
I'm human. I don't have enough money for an editor.
Be your own editor. Just hire yourself.
I've edited twice. It's you just get into the story and then I
fire yourself and get a new version of yourself.
And there's a reason there's professional editors. Yeah. Your dumbass couldn't do it.
No, that's why I would never. Yeah, I don't even.
Then shut the fuck up.
No way, man. I'll keep it going, my opinion, because like I said before, this is America.
So Alex is drinking White Russian again because we got to remember to talk loud. I mean, you kind of always talk loud. I kind of because sometimes I can't hear what the fuck we're saying. Alex is drinking White Russian because we were drinking White Russians last time and we still have the ingredients over.
Not anymore. I finished them.
Yeah, you finished it. And this is water because I'm sober now.
Because that's what he has to tell us. Substance abuse counselor.
No, just because I need this in frame. But I got this. Free dive. Anyways, season 2, episode 1, Shrink Dick. I love season 2. I think it's my favorite episode or season. I don't know. Season 3 is amazing, but season 2 really pops off. Season 1's it's still great, but it's like the worst one.
I liked it. I liked it a lot. I mean, I'm not gonna skip ahead or anything, but it had one of my more favorite endings than the rest of them.
Oh, you mean this episode? I thought you meant you liked season 1.
No, yeah, I like season 1 too, but this episode in particular, I really like.
Yeah, so
I think I said that about most of them. So I mean, at what point is
that's what everybody says about most of them when they fucking read them. Well, that's the problem. People aren't reading them.
Yeah,
read.
Well, they all can't be my favorites. It's like fuck.
Wait till episode 3.
My judgment is just void at some point. It's not worth anything. Giving up 10s out.
The ones I tell people to skip ahead to is season 2, episode 3 is one of them. That's a fucking great one. So if you remember last time, by the way, we just tried to record this. We got about 4 minutes into it. We're like, this is the most boring fucking podcast we've ever done.
I was like, I can't even stay focused because of how fucking sweet my mustache is. So I had to stop.
We were both just staring at all of his mustache into this monitor here.
And at some point, we fell mute.
Yeah, and we were like, okay, we got to restart this shit. So we did a couple shots, and now we're back into fucking game. So end of the last season, Rusty burns down the house. Amanda is...
Dick move, by the way.
Well, he was pissed.
Not at me.
He's pissed at Amanda. Well, it's his mom's house. He wasn't pissed at his mom either. He's just impulsive like an idiot. So, yeah. Amanda, pregnant with his brother, and burned down the house.
That's some Maury shit or what is it, Steve Wilkos show? I think that would be a better one now.
Steve Wilkos?
Oh, dude, have you not seen him? The dude who used to be security on Jerry Springer's got his own show. It's like a mix between Jerry Springer and Maury. It's
the security guy?
Yeah, he was famous like back when I used to watch him when I was staying from school. Was this guy Steve. He'd always come out, Steve would always break it up. Steve was like the one guy who always break. Now he's got his own show. And it's so funny because he calls people out on these lies, and then people try him, and he like chases them down the hallway, like, "What's up, big guy?" He like tries to fight him, and he's still security. It's awesome.
I want to see it now.
Yeah, it's fucking awesome.
By the way, this shirt, I know we don't have the technology right now for you to have sex with me through the screen, but it is fucking amazing shirt, nice and orange. Alex wouldn't know because Alex is colorblind, but it actually matches the bottom 2 lines of his shirt right here.
I got
doing it right. Kind of looks red though in this, but it's definitely orange. It's definitely orange. It's definitely full of sex and flavor. So I'm sorry. Maybe we could hook up later. Anyway, so this starts out about 6 or 7 months after the last episode. Rusty's in therapy, and he's talking about Tool. Tool's one of my favorite bands. Here's the problem, though.
See, I didn't get that at first. I've never heard of the band.
Yeah, well, you've never heard of Tool?
Not that I know of. I probably heard a song and not know
You definitely heard a couple songs.
I've never heard of that as a band.
I hate most Tool fans though, because
I don't know most
Tool. Well, I'll tell you why. Tool fans are always trying to get into like the intricacies of Tool and blah, 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 blah. There are a lot of Tool fans I know. Other than this one dude I remember meeting outside of the bar that we were talking about Tool and we were on the same page about Tool. Tool's first 3 albums is when Maynard was young and he had like this still fighting spirits, fucking like heavy metal shit, and now like their latest album is just a pile of fucking garbage. It sounds like snake charming music. I was so excited about that fucking album and it just fucking sucks. Lateralus and Up. There's a couple good songs on 10,000 Days, a couple good songs on Lateralus, no good songs on the new one. But the first 3, Opiate. I think the second one's Undertow, I think.
It's my favorite Tool forum show I've ever seen.
And then, we're getting into Tool. And then Anima. Anima? I don't know how to say it. Those are the good ones. Listen to them. Those are amazing. But then, it talks about how Tool's like... You just listen to it and it just sounds amazing to realize, oh, this guy got fucked in the butt. Because a lot of the songs are about the raping of kids because allegedly what it sounds like through his music because I think he was raped as a child. Anyways, so then it gets into Rusty's bitching. Rusty's not bitching to his therapist about anything. I tried to disguise it.
Yeah.
About his therapist about anything that like a normal person would. He's bitching about people who shit on
pop culture,
pineapple.
all shit.
Right, about pineapple not being
Gordon Ramsay
supposed to be on pizza. Fuck Gordon Ramsay.
I mean, you'd say that now, but if he offered to cook you, if he told you how to cook a filet mignon, you'd fucking do it the way he said.
I'd still say fuck you. No, I actually just cooked a steak at my mom's house when I was in Sebastian. Watching his steak, and then gave it to Brock, and Brock said he loved it, and told me, he's like, oh, you gotta show me how to make the steak. I was like, I'll send you the video. So yeah, I respect Gordon Ramsay, but if you want to talk about pineapple on pizza, I'll fucking choke your fucking English ass out.
Oh, he's Scottish. I don't think you got a chance. You don't even know who you're gonna fight.
He's Scottish?
He's Scottish.
Are you sure about that?
Pretty sure.
I don't think he's Scottish. He doesn't even have a Scottish accent.
Pretty sure.
Pretty sure?
The lady came on one of the shows, and he caught her accent, and then he said served him haggis, which is the national dish of Scotland. Right. It's a mixture of organs cooked in a sheep's stomach, and it's honestly a fucking abomination. But he was fucking psyched to have it.
British. Well, yeah, British. That's still okay. Yeah, Scotland. I was like British. It's like wait, that's
Scottish. Well, they own Scotland. They own Scotland.
Well, it's part of Britain.
They own it.
Well, Britain is more than one country. It's not just England.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, fuck you if you don't like pineapple on pizza. Stop trying to say that it doesn't belong on pizza. Then don't fucking put it on pizza, motherfucker. How are you gonna tell me what to put on my fucking pizza, you pizza fucking
He didn't come over here from Scotland to hear you bitch about
nobody's fucking talking about Gordon Ramsay. You brought up Gordon Ramsay. Fuck Gordon Ramsay. I don't give a fuck if he makes good food. Fuck him and his stupid Scottish piece of shit self. How about that, Gordon Ramsay? You fuck. I actually like Gordon Ramsay. You're making me hate Gordon Ramsay. Fuck off. I like Gordon Ramsay.
See how much power I have?
Yeah.
Over him? I made him hate somebody.
Yeah, well, the pineapple on pizza thing's fucking stupid. If you don't like pineapple on pizza, don't eat it. Don't tell me how to eat my shit. I don't tell you not to shove your own fist up your ass.
Okay, this is coming from the guy who gets mad at me if I order something without tomatoes on it. You're ruining the sandwich.
Well,
let me eat how I want to fucking eat it.
You always have a problem with things.
I just order something and you bitch about it. You bitch about it when we're at a restaurant like you're my wife.
Never. I did that like
2 or 3 times.
Yeah, years ago. So, but it was usually when I was trying to get him to try something and then he takes something off. It's like, well, which is really annoying. People who enjoy food hate picky eaters because you ruin the flavor profile by being a little.
I just forgot the part where I asked to want to try what you wanted me to try. Well, you want me to try something? I'm trying it on my terms.
Well, that's fine.
On my terms.
It's like that's like, oh, I'm gonna try this pizza, but I'm taking off the cheese and sauce. Well, go fuck yourself, you picky little fuck. You don't deserve to eat food. Well, you should deserve to starve in the fucking what?
That's what 5-year-olds do. Take the top off of pizzas.
Well, you also take the tomato out of their fucking sandwiches too. Oh, you're a 5-year-old, but you don't like mushrooms either.
I like some mushrooms.
Sounds like a cop out. Anyways, he's talking to Dr. Dickerman, which
about
is
how much
the
he
reason.
cares about how much I like stuff.
The reason. Would you fucking drop it? Because I'm not gonna stop. The reason this episode's called Shrink Dick, obviously, because he calls him. Well, it's more like like the Seinfeld joke where I was in the pool. So that's what kind of like the double meaning is. That I'm afraid this thing's gonna fucking fall. Just another word for shrinkage. So it's 7 months later. Rusty had burned down the house, so Rusty's now living with Amanda. They're under the agreement that Rusty's going to play father to the kid that she's pregnant with, his brother.
Which is a sucker ass move. I would never do that.
Yeah, well, Rusty loves Amanda. By the way, so it's kind of fitting that I don't actually know if she's mad at me. I don't think she's that petty to be mad at me about that stupid fucking protest argument we had. I think she's just. I know she got a new job, a good job, the job she's always wanted. So I think she's just caught up in that, or she might be mad at me. Either way, it'll fit into this because
she loves me. I swear.
At this time when I was writing this, I was very mad at her, probably for something I said to her. We weren't on speaking terms during this entire season.
You can't even be friends correctly.
We weren't on speaking terms during this entire season, so. A lot of me being mad at her comes out in the first few episodes, so it's kind of fitting. But obviously, if she's watching this, I'm not mad at you. I don't think you're mad at me. You might be mad at me, but if you're mad at me, don't tell me. Did he just cry?
I don't think so.
You didn't hear a squeak?
I heard something that looked like it sounded like a moose.
Poor mate! He's just moving to the couch. So
the dog is fine.
Hopefully,
Ross is a stalker. We get it.
To my dog, or are you talking about Amanda?
No, Amanda. No, I almost said the real name.
So yeah, Rusty's like tired of Amanda. He's starting to regret this little living situation he's got himself into.
He's essentially paying for her to live there after fucking his dad. It's not that sweet of a deal for Rusty.
So Rusty explains that his house was burnt down and that there were black teenagers watching it burn down and they got arrested for it because they're black. How fitting in this climate right now that the cops would arrest black teenagers just because they're watching a house burn down. Seems like that shit's about to change though, doesn't it? So look at that. Shit's been a problem for, I wrote this like 3 years ago. It's been a problem for 50 years. More than that. I mean, we've been fighting for the rights for like 50, 60 years.
Let's say 56 years. I'm like, oh yeah, because everything was so fine in the 60s.
Well, no. Yeah, I meant like the actual civil rights movement because obviously before that it was there was no like even like thought to accepting civil rights for Black Americans or any
we didn't even like each
other.
other back then. We were talking shit about Polacks and
who was we?
Italian white people and Italians and
see. That's actually, you know what? Now that we're getting into this, this whole we shit. Well, you started it.
Okay, well, I'm ending it. I don't want to talk. about it.
You're not ending what I'm talking about, actually. So when you kind of group people together, whether it's in support or by race, or whether it's in support or like against, it's still kind of like racist. You got to take everybody as an individual and think about like the human race, and don't group people as like the black community, the white community. That's just keeping people apart. You got to start taking everybody as an individual. So that's all I'm going to say. So they have 8 dogs. Amanda sleeps with 7 of them.
She fucked all 7 of them?
I think you drank too much now. I think like the little gap that
was your idea, man.
Yeah, it was a bad idea.
I try not to do it.
It's a really retarded thing just to interject when I'm fucking talking about the story to say that she fucked all the dogs. No, she didn't fuck any of the dogs. She sleeps with 7 of the dogs. It means they sleep in her bed. Everybody knew what that meant. And Rusty sleeps with 1 downstairs. So Rusty has this whole thing about like there was an armed robbery. He and the 1 dog would get killed. They'd go upstairs and they'd get chased out by 7 huge dogs. One of the dogs is a dog I've always wanted, a basset hound named Tortoise. Still one of my dream dogs. How big are basset hounds? They're like...
You portray it like he's a small dog. I thought they were decent-sized dogs.
No, you're thinking of a bloodhound. A basset hound is like, they got short legs, really long ears. They're like a beagle.
Oh, yeah, I gotcha.
Yeah, that one girl has one. Taylor. I'm not going to say her last name, but Anthony's friend.
I didn't know she had one.
Yeah, I love that dog too. I've met him a couple times. So yeah, Rusty talks about how he thinks Amanda doesn't love him anymore. Obviously, that's how I was feeling at the time. Again, it's almost like this is like a diary that I just wrote into fiction. Kind of cool, right?
Is Amanda married? She's like married now, right? Or no?
Yeah. What do you mean?
I can't remember.
He knows that.
No, I couldn't remember.
We've talked about it on the podcast.
That just shows how bad my memory is.
This is what I live with.
Yeah.
So yeah, she's like married now. Then Rusty talks about how he is, I mean, I don't know if affair is the right word, or she's cheating on Amanda basically with this ginger bartender, who's based off a real person. You can interject, I'm just saying, like, you know. Like,
I don't feel like getting attacked right now.
Put a little bit of thought into it.
I don't feel like getting attacked
fucking the dog.
Like, see, you're attacking me unprovoked now.
No, you're just sitting there all quiet like, and
I'm letting you finish your dialogue.
My dialogue? That's not dialogue. If I was doing
it by myself, I'm letting you finish monologue.
Well, I mean, interject with something.
Well, I was waiting. I was going to wait till you got more into the redheadness, and I was going to comment about my brother being a ginger, so I have a stake in this.
Go ahead, talk about your brother being a ginger.
No, I don't fucking want to now, because you didn't get to the point I was waiting for. You jumped on.
Can we not ruin this podcast at the beginning, please?
Can you finish what you were saying? Because I had a point I was going to jump in at.
So, the ginger girl is based off a real person. I told her... First of all, she was a girl at this bar that I used to go to that I had a big crush on. She didn't like me. She still doesn't like me.
Was it at
Shitty Britches?
Is that?
Yeah.
Place I got bottled at? Place I got jumped at?
No, you had jumped at Riverside, didn't you?
No.
Oh, okay, then yeah.
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 Bottled and jumped at the same bar. Different occasions.
I mean, I guess we could say it. Filthies. It was a bar, Filthies.
Yeah, fuck Filthies.
It used to be called Filthy McNasties.
It's full of pretentious bartenders.
Well, Brittany works there now, a good friend of mine. Actually, most of the people that work there are good friends of mine.
Excel worked at the same pretentious ass restaurant owner. Same owner.
Same owner, yeah.
Which actually, he sounds pretty cool.
He's cool as a friend. He's not the coolest as a boss.
Every time I go to Filthy, I always feel like the bartenders are big fucking douchebags.
Oh, man.
And all I do is just
go to my friends.
I just go to the bar and ask for a drink. Yeah. Okay. Been on a minute. That's fine. All I said was, hey, when do you have a minute?
I am, like, obsessed with, like, redheads now. This girl was, like, the first redhead I was like, whoa.
I'll warn my brother.
Yeah, Frank already knows, man.
My full-blooded brother is a ginger.
It looks just like Alex.
I try to hide it as much as possible, but it just light reflects off him like a motherfucker, and it's just hard to hide.
How is this thing fucking 20 minutes long already?
Mm-hmm.
I think we were just bitching at each other.
I don't know, how far down are we?
Here.
Speed
first caller. We'll get through it. So yeah, super hot chick. Did not like me. Don't think she likes me at all anymore. I mean, she
definitely touched her penis.
No, she didn't. I was
trying to ad lib something that might have happened.
You trying to make up stories? I
was trying to say something and hopefully it was true.
So kind of like, I would say if it was true.
I know. That's what I was hoping for.
She
hopes were dashed.
Like, she humored me. I used to tell her that I got this because of her, and it was it's a fire ant. Red, get it? It's not true. It's not red. No,
I was about to say it's not red.
No, I would just tell her that. Because this is actually, I got this for a different girl.
Oh, I got a hint. First hint I've ever gotten.
Yeah, I don't tell. First of all, I'll tell you guys this. It's not like the greatest story ever, but there's like I'll tell you the meaning of it in another episode. But I usually don't tell people the meaning of this, not necessarily because I don't want them to know, just because when they do know, it's not like I seem more like a cuck.
Yeah, but I feel like it's kind of like whenever you say like I don't want to say the meaning, I feel like you're baiting it.
No,
like,
no,
if
no.
you really didn't want to tell people, you would just play it off like you did. You just
no, what I say is
ant.
when girls like when girls are like, "Oh, what does that mean?" And I go, "It's a secret." And when you tell someone it's a secret, they like really want to know. So it just puts more interest.
Yeah, but it is the guys too.
Yeah, but I don't give a fuck. But yeah, I don't want to tell them the story.
Like I don't care anymore. But I'm just saying, like I feel like if you really didn't want something,
and I've had it for fun,
you would just be like, "Oh, I just felt like getting an ant," and it'd be your own personal satisfaction.
No, all my tattoos have meanings.
I know.
And then so yeah, the bar's called Shitty Britches off of the Filthies, McNasties. And then he's talking to the therapist about how the kid that Amanda's having isn't his. And he says, the therapist says, "Oh, so you think you'd have issues with raising a kid that's not blood?" And he goes, "Oh, we're blood." And the therapist is confused, and
Rusty just fucking basically hops up, flicks him off, and leaves or some shit.
He doesn't just leave. He kicks open the doors and says, "Get money!" and then leaves. So then he gets home, he grabs Tortoise, he goes in the backyard and starts to take a nap on the hammock in the back.
By the way, it's very confusing. I mean, it really wasn't that confusing. When you name a dog or when you name an animal, like just another animal species. Like when I first read it, I was like, oh, and then I have my dog and Tortoise. I know we have these dogs and Tortoise. So I thought you had like a seizure, and it just said, oh, and Tortoise. Like I thought that we have horses on my farm, horses and goat.
I'm going to have a basset hound before I die. His name's either going to be Tortoise
or Otis
or Mr. Poopy Butthole. So. Although I kind of like Fun Bucket now too. Fun Bucket's a good name. Y'all ready for Brisk?
Fun Bucket. I'm Fun Bucket.
Buy little boots.
I'm a real person now.
So then he hears Amanda coming towards him. He tries to pretend he's asleep because they're just not getting along at all.
Oh, what a mistake that fucking ended up being.
She picks up the dog with a grill lighter and a can of WD-40. She flamethrowers him in the chest.
Johnny Storm.
Might be foreshadowing to another episode later, so keep that in mind.
Fucking ruining it.
No, I'm not. Stop telling me about that. I know what I'm allowed to foreshadow. You don't. You never read it.
Yes, I did.
Amanda has found out about Rebecca, and she's pissed. Would she
actually
actually be pissed in real life?
Probably not.
No. Would this actually happen in real life?
Probably not.
It could. My dad's still gay. According to my dad, he doesn't believe in bisexuality, so...
so it was just a straight flip for him, and one day he woke up and was like, you know what? Because he got a boner for girls at some point.
Oh my god. Come on. No, we're not talking about that.
Okay.
Ooh, it's my dad. Why would I want to talk about that? My dad doesn't believe in bisexuality. It's more like being afraid of, especially at a time when none of that was accepted, that you have to...
That's true.
Yeah. So, where the fuck am I? Some of the stuff I can skip.
Where are you?
So Rusty, they get into a big argument. Rusty's still pissed about raising his dad's kids. And apparently they hadn't talked much about it because she's 9 months pregnant, 8 or 9 months pregnant. She's about to have a kid.
Yeah, she's ready to pop at this point.
They have a house, everything. Rusty's already decided to take care of her. She doesn't have a job.
Which I don't remember the exact wording, but I remember how you described it when she was running. After she gets pissed again, because right after the flamethrower thing, you said she charged at you or something like that. That's pretty funny. I forget the exact terminology.
She throws a coconut at his head.
Yeah, and then she apparently rushed at you like a hungry hippo or some shit like that.
Oh, like a fat pregnant gorilla.
Yeah. Harambe. Dicks out for Harambe.
I think this was written before Harambe. Amanda,
did you write this when we were living together?
No.
After?
Way after. The last episode.
Harambe was 2016.
Oh, it was 2016?
May 2016, yeah.
That's so weird that you know that. The last episode I wrote
Harambe.
when we were living together was episode 5. So
I heard. So yeah, this was post Harambe.
Yeah, this was when I was working at Southern Social.
The Harambe memes were on fire at this point. I mean, that was one of the longest meme strings I'd ever seen. Cincinnati Zoo closed down their Twitter account because anytime they posted something, like they posted things about like they put, this tiger has a 3-foot tail to keep balance, and then somebody commented like, oh yeah, well if you put 2 of those tails next to each other, it'd be just as tall as Harambe.
I haven't followed up on this, but I read an article saying that Carol Baskin got all of Joe Exotic's
My dad called me to tell me that, and I already knew obviously because my dad's in his 60s and I have Facebook, so I already knew. But he called me like 6 hours after.
I only saw the article once. I thought it'd be like a huge deal, but
what, that she got what she wanted? No, only negative things for Carol Baskin's on there. We don't want to see Joe go down any further.
So then I just saw an article today. He wrote a letter saying that he'll be dead in the next 2 or 3 months.
He will be?
Yeah, I think he had coronavirus last time I checked too. So there's a line in there where
Rusty says Joe Exotic didn't kill himself.
Rusty says that Amanda acts like she's better than me. I just wanted to throw that out there because when I was mad, I don't have her phone number anymore because I didn't need it, so I deleted it a long time ago. But I used to come up with long nicknames for everybody in my phone, and Amanda's was Amanda thinks she's better than me, which I always thought was funny. Which I think she does think she's better than me, obviously, but whatever.
Well, what does she do now? What does she do? Why does she?
I'll tell you what she does now. No, she does what she's always wanted to do. It's actually a good thing. I do what I always wanted to do too, but I don't get paid for it. So maybe she is better than me. Rusty says he's going to stay at Alex's house.
Which we obviously know I'm not going to let that shit fly.
He's taking the dog with him, and Amanda throws the coconut at his head and charges at him like a fat pregnant gorilla, and Rusty again spits in her face like he did in the second episode.
Yeah. She's kind of asking for it. Doing all that gorilla stuff.
You seem really mad at the character Amanda in this episode. So I just kind of picked up on that.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know what else to say.
So then Rusty goes to stay at Alex's house, and he waits out the door for 45 minutes because Alex is too afraid to answer the door because he's smoking spice.
Getting high as fuck, which I actually have a real story about that.
Go for it, because I have a few.
It's my 19th birthday. I'm only going to do one. I'm not going to do like 5. But I was my 19th birthday party. Not even a party. Just went to stay at my buddy's house in Melbourne. His brother's a pilot. He lived there. And he couldn't smoke weed. We all grew up they grew up like smoking weed all day. So like, he would smoke spice on the weekend. He got like a 10 gram bag because it was my birthday. And we smoked, I think, like 5 or 6 blunts of spice back to back. And I ended up, we smoked all. He had a 10 gram bag. It was I never smoked it again after this. I smoked so much spice that I was on the couch, covered in a blanket, just like freaking out, thinking I was dying. I was like, oh my god, I was shivering, like I couldn't stop.
Yeah, it's. I remember in my old apartment in Orlando, my roommate would smoke spice because he couldn't smoke weed because he was on probation. So we'd smoke spice all the time. And we had just moved in there. And spice always made me feel weird. I always felt like my brain was bleeding, which they used to say like that it could do that too, which probably it couldn't. But it was weird. I felt like I could feel my brain stem, and I could feel like something was leaking down it, which made me think it was bleeding. It just makes you very paranoid and shit. And so I remember when we just smoked spice, I was taking out the trash. I walk outside and there's helicopters flying around, and I'm like, oh shit. They know we were smoking spice, and they're looking for me. Really, there was a drive-by about fucking 10 feet away from my door. Well, more like, 100 feet away from my door at the basketball court.
Just Florida, though, baby. You know what it is.
They found the guys in Jacksonville, so, justice. The person didn't die. They just got shot.
Yeah, it's, if you don't die, it's really not that tragic. It's fine. You get shot all the time.
And so in this series, Alex explains that... this spice is super old, so it's more potent. Is that true?
Probably not. I was thinking the same thing. I was like, yeah, it's something, because we've never done the research. I've never smoked Old Spice. I don't think anybody had.
Old Spice.
I have smoked deodorant. That's false. I have smoked deodorant. I
apologize. I put it right there, Old Spice. I was going to make that joke, but you beat me. So then Rusty brings up the time they did bath salts. We've never done bath salts.
No, I've used bath salts.
I've done bath salts.
I've used it in the bathtub, but I've never done it. I've always been curious because, what does the face taste like? You know what I mean?
What does the face taste like?
Yeah.
So let me tell you the story. So
I thought you were going to say, all right, well, let me tell you.
Well, let me tell you the story. Me and my friend I remember I was staying at my dad's house, and we were trying to get acid, and he had a buddy that lived close by, and we couldn't get acid. So we ended up going to this store that actually got raided. It does not exist anymore. It was like the something Buddha in Melbourne. They got raided for selling illegal drugs out of there. Illegal designer drugs, which is what bath salts and spice is.
I think they did the Chevron too, and the Shark Market got busted.
And we did this stuff called, I think it was called shoe polish cleaner. It was something like that, but it was bath salts. It was basically like illegal cocaine. And I remember it was actually a fucking great night. It wasn't very so what we did is we were geeking for a long time. It's kind of like cocaine, not that I would know, but it's like cocaine, but lasts way longer. And it was the worst come down I've ever had in my life. But I remember we just went to Ron John's at 3:00 in the morning.
Because they're open for 24 hours.
Yeah, Ron John's open 24 hours.
All day.
It was literally just me and my buddy.
Midnight.
High as fuck off bath salts, walking around looking at surfboards and shirts and shit.
You trying to cut a deal on the skimboard?
Trying to talk to all the fucking girls working there. Not a great look. And then a really long, worst come down I've ever had in my life. No lie. Fucking the only thing I knew about bath salts before is that somebody had tried to inject them into their arm and they got a flesh-eating disease. No lie, this was exactly a week, 7 days before the guy in Miami
ate that face.
Supposedly on bath salts ate a homeless man's face. So that was a weird one. So the reason Alex is smoking spice is because they're now running out of money 6 months later from the money they found, and Alex needs a job, so he's trying to keep his pee clean.
Which is ridiculous. My pee's always clean. So,
but in this series,
true.
Rusty says when he's talking to Alex, this is a very dialogue-heavy episode. He says, I feel like I imagined the times she actually liked me, which I still feel like that sometimes. I feel like sometimes, maybe I made up how much she liked me, and, I don't know. I thought that was worth mentioning. So I might get in trouble for this. Hopefully she is mad at me so she doesn't fucking watch this, but she also might not care. I don't know. But I had to... When I was 18, Amanda and her friends wanted to smoke spice, and I had to get them spice. And I kept...
Was that when we were in class together?
Yeah.
They were doing a roll, so I think we were in class together.
Yeah, and so I got her and her friend Spice, and I was kind of, thinking maybe I can go hang out with them. No invite. She just came to pick it up. She thought I was kidding when I told her, this shit's, really fucked up. You probably shouldn't do it. I remember her, laughing, She thought she was having a seizure, and she never did it again, so...
Yeah.
That happened to a lot of people, though.
Why did we smoke that shit?
Because we were dumb, and you couldn't get anything else. They sold it at the goddamn gas station.
That is true. They sold at the fucking gas station. I'll smoke anything from a gas station.
Yeah. Well, we've smoked other things. I've snorted Yopo seeds that were supposed to have DMT if you cook them. We cooked them at my friend's neighbor's house.
What is that? What kind of seeds are those?
They're seeds that we bought off the internet, and we chopped them up. Not enough, so I just had big shards of seeds. I'm talking sharp ass seeds stuck in my nose because it's supposed to. If you cook them for a little bit, it releases natural DMT. We didn't trip off them. I just had seeds stuck up my nose. And then the kava, we took the kava shit. Yeah, dude. I've tried a lot of stupid shit in my life. And then one line I wrote down here, which I think is really funny. She treats me like I did something bad to her, which was a real feeling I had. But in the series, Alex says back, well, you did kill 2 of her boyfriends and fuck her mom. So yeah, in the series, she has legitimate reason to think I did something bad to her. But not that she knows that in the series. She doesn't know any of that so far in the series. I've said some of this stuff already. Another thing I wanted to hit on is like that contagious, like uncomfortable feeling, like with certain
Kanye West doesn't have.
When you do certain drugs with your friends, especially like mushrooms or like spice. I just remember specifically me and my other friend, we did spice, and I was like starting to feel really weird and uncomfortable, and I went to look at him to make me more comfortable, and then he saw that I was uncomfortable, which made him uncomfortable, and you can just see in their face, like, oh shit, now we're both having like a bad trip, I'd say. Even though I don't think it's technically tripping, but it's definitely a weird experience. I'm glad that that's not around anymore.
What is it again, Spice?
Yeah.
Yeah, K2, whatever the fuck people call it.
K2 is a specific brand of it.
Yeah, well, they also had Mr. Nice Guy, then they had no more Mr. Nice Guy.
Fire Ant Killer.
I had this shit called Blue Jazz or some fucking shit like that one time. And oh my god, dude. I'm not even gonna get into it, but no. Like, don't smoke Spice, even if they bring it back. Basically,
I don't think they can.
Well, I mean,
they used to bring it back weekly because they would ban shit that's in it, and they would.
It's
just
the same thing they do with
the
pre-workout. No, it's the same thing they do with pre-workout because what they would do to make the spices, it was like it's a cousin plant to marijuana. It's a plant that's related to marijuana.
It's an actual plant.
Yeah, there's like a plant that they use the majority for it. At least the majority of it is a plant, and then basically they fucking toss it in like a thing that toss it, and they put chemicals in there, and the chemicals are what fucking gets you high. So, like,
what they always be different.
Well, yeah, so they would change the chemicals. The same thing they do with pre-workouts. Like, you know, oh, this pre-workout's fucking illegal now. It's like, all right, so they have that chemical compound. They change it a little bit. They take out one, like, little methyl group from it or whatever the fuck they do to it, and they put the same brand out there. Same thing. They just change it a little bit so that way whatever it was illegal for, it's no longer illegal for. Because when they make something illegal, they make this exact compound illegal. Change it a little bit, and now you're within the bounds of the law. So that's what they would do with fucking spice. It was like almost impossible to catch it. And you used to have to ask for it behind like a little backboard. They pull it up and like, oh, we got it here.
I'm getting so close to not drinking more because I have water and I have beer here. And I'm really like...
Oh, I'm empty.
I'm favoring the water for sure.
Yeah.
So the contagious uncomfortable feeling, and then they begin freaking out, which is one of my favorite parts of this season even. Rusty goes through the cabinets trying to find something to fix them, looking through ibuprofen, cough medicine, and everything, and he just starts freaking out so much, he just rips the cabinet door off the hinges. And then he starts screaming that the cops are coming. And then Alex is like, why are the cops to be coming? He's like, because we've been yelling the past 20 minutes. Like, you're the only one who's been yelling and ripping the cabinet doors off.
Yeah, I would have been so pissed if somebody came to my house and started ripping off my cabinet.
But the funny thing is that you're on spice, so you're like already freaking out and you're having a heart attack.
Like, oh yeah, shit, you're right.
It's like you want to so bad, but like you're like, I'm having a heart attack, I have to go lay down. So Alex goes and lays down, and now they both agree that the cops are coming, and Alex is having a heart attack, not being able to stop Rusty from continuing to rip every cabinet door off.
What I'm sure is
just the visual of him ripping cabinet doors off the hinges.
Me in the background, like, fuck, I can't do anything, I'm about to die. And what I'm sure is a leased apartment. Like, I'm sure I would have to pay for...
Yeah.
I'm not getting my security deposit back.
No. Well, we'd probably fix the cabinets. So yeah, Alex says he's having a heart attack, goes lay down, he thinks he's having a seizure. They're trying to figure out what to take to get him out of that trip or whatever. And the only thing you can take to get out of a trip is, that I've heard of, cocaine. You do cocaine, you're blackout drunk, do some cocaine. You're tripping too much, do some cocaine.
I like also this might be backtracking a little bit, but I remember earlier there was a reference that I made to Tucker Max, and your character pretended you didn't know who it was, which is funny because I didn't really like know Tucker Max like that, but he made it seem like my character was like, oh, that's like Max, and I'm like, oh, the bartender, like, no, Tucker.
Your character does know who he is. You
yeah, know who he is. No, I mean I know who he is. My brother read it, but I just haven't read any of his writing. You have, so it's funny that you put our characters in reverse there.
Yeah, well, it just worked for the story.
Mm-hmm.
So they do. They start doing cocaine. Rusty asks Alex if he could see. I thought this was going to be the longest one, and it's going to be one of the shortest ones.
Thank God.
I'm really good at burping.
I'm really good at doing involuntary bodily functions.
So, no, I can force myself to burp.
I can't too.
So, yeah. Rank mine and then rank his.
Okay, well, you did that on accident. So.
Well, I know how to prolong it, though.
I can't too. You can make it deeper. I'm not going to get into a burping contest with you. I'm just saying.
I can't do.
Any idiot can make himself burp.
Not like me though.
Well, that one was.
I'm the burp.
It doesn't matter because that one wasn't. That one was involuntary. It wasn't involuntary.
But I know how to slow it down and make it longer. Anyways, so Rusty wants to stay at Alex's house and asks if he could use Alex's bed because there's two of them versus one of him,
which is absolutely ridiculous.
This is a true thing. Like, you know, if I go to somebody's house and they're not going to let my dog sleep, they're like, oh, you're not going to sleep on the floor. I remember one time we were at Anthony's house and he just let a bunch of people stay over because he has his own problems. And instead of just laying across the couch, there were so many people there, I just sat up sleeping so my dog could sleep. And I'm not going to make my dog sleep on the fucking floor. He's not a fucking animal. Okay? So I just let him sleep in the middle of me and somebody else until somebody went to go have sex with somebody in another room. And then a couch opened up and then I got to lay there. So it was cool.
Welcome to Fantasy Island.
Yeah. So then Rusty hits up Redhead Rebecca, which, by the way, her name wasn't really Rebecca, but people used to call her Rebecca, and she'd get really pissed. So that's why her name's Rebecca. The bartender, that is. See, I can now tell that my voice is there. People probably aren't going to be able to hear that, but fuck it. So Rusty asks Alex for the rest of his cocaine. Alex,
of course, did a bump and then gave it to him.
Yeah. And then, you know, just before that, they were discussing their money problems. And then Rusty leaves. 2 minutes later, starts knocking on the door, opens up the door, and he says, we should sell cocaine. Which we should. In the story. So, that is the end of Season 2, Episode 1.
Who is the Instagram hottie of the week?
Instagram hottie of the week. Now... This is another thing I may get in trouble for. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if one person has gone and followed anybody we told them to. But later, when this thing gets big, they will. Instagram Hottie of the Week is the real Rebecca. I sent her I don't know if I said this already, I sent her a message saying that she should read this because there's a character based off of her, and you will see more of her, by the way. And she just didn't even reply to me. So, I'm going to send a bunch of people to your page. In a good way. You're welcome.
All 10 of you. All 10 people are going to go there.
Yeah. So, well, actually, the last one was 40. So, this one will probably be 20.
Wait, views or... Because somebody might have watched it twice.
Views.
I was about to say, I highly doubt somebody watched it twice.
I've watched it multiple times, but it doesn't count mine.
We're in it.
Yeah, so it's Ash_Walker 85. I'll leave the she's very hot.
Let me see.
I mean, if you thought I was lying. Are you into gingers? She's
my brother used to have a thing.
Ginger 10.
No, she's hot for sure.
She's fucking hot as fuck, dude. Yeah, she was a bartender. How could I not fucking have a crush on her?
Hey, sweetie, you can be Kim Possible. No, I'll be Kim Possible, and you just call me, beat me if you want to reach me, dog.
She don't like me, but go like her. Hot as fuck.
She might like me.
She doesn't like me.
She probably hates me.
Oh, yeah, she would not like you.
No, I'm a douche.
And so that'll do it. Next one will
that'll
be
do, donkey, that'll
better.
do. No, it won't.